I can see some bubbles at the surface of one popping up a little bit and just forming kind of a little mound.
We can even see them from a long distance WVS shot. We have large bubbles coming up on the tops of the surface.
Okay, I got the gel brush for 2 Alpha.
Tap all layers.
Mike Foreman tamping down some of these applied samples in this view through his helmet cam. We're seeing just about what he sees.
And the next one, Mike, I think is the one that's just knocked down the peaks.
Exactly right, Bob. Bravo's knocked down peaks, no tamping.
Okay, Rick, 2 Alpha, same surface look as one, couple of pinholes. I see bubbling coming up. I'm able to tamp the bubble back down. Kind of knock down some peaks in 2 Bravo here a little bit.
Right, knock down peaks and don't tamp.
Okay, that's complete.
Okay, 2 Charlie is first layer, light tamp to fill voids, not for adhesion.
Okay, I'm just trying to push the material into the voids here on 2 Charlie. Good work, Mike.
Excellent work, both of you.
In 2 Bravo, it looks like there might be some peaks toward the top of it, but it's just might end up with a void there. Yeah.
Catch.
Okay, going back to 2 Alpha, kind of some bubbles in the middle here. We'll go to 2 Delta.
That's tamp all layers.
There's just light tamp and 2 Charlie, just a couple more tamps there. Okay, 2 Delta. Kind of pancaking these dollops that I left in 2 Delta. You know, the material kind of spreads as I tamp.
Yeah, we can see it spreading out as you press it down in there. It looks like it's adhering well.
Yeah, it does.
Mike, 3 is going to be tamp all layers also.
And Rick, I got my bat volt decay message, 17.5.
Copy, Bob. Thanks for reporting it. Okay, we're at 4 minutes since flow. We're doing really well, Mike. Continue your tamping as you need.
Okay, Rick.
Your next decision here is apply additional layers 1 to 3. I don't know if you'll need the 3rd to meet fill requirements.
Okay, Rick, thanks. Just continuing to spread the material out in 2 Delta a little bit.
Looks like they're all going to need a little bit additional, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if 2 Delta will. We'll have to look.
We have about 5 minutes or so to finish to start the flow again. So when you're good with the tamping, Mike, we probably should get back and start with the other layers.
Copy that, Rick. Going to 3.
And I would call that flow rate not slow, so we should be able. We'll see how it looks after this. But it looked like you're still getting pretty good flow.
I would agree with that. Okay, tamping is very effective. Material, after I tamp it, it stays down pretty well, but then that's when I start to see the bubbles appear at the surface. Again, I can re-tamp and squash those bubbles momentarily, and then they come back.
Yeah, it really is like a loaf of bread with all the little bubbles in there, and
Exactly.
they're just kind of knocking a couple of the top ones, it looks like, open and do a little more expansion and then get a void, it looks like.
Okay, Mike, I don't know how many layers you think you're going to need. Maybe 1 more?
At least probably 1 to 2 more in 1. 1 more in 2 Alpha, 2 Bravo, 2 Charlie.
Gotcha.
2 Delta is probably probably just another dollop to spread out, and then probably two more layers in 3.
Okay,
Get to that
well,
shell.
let's get going on them. Let's get going on the new layers.
Okay, putting the gel brush away here.
And Rick, if we could make sure Houston is happy with this knee tendon, this nozzle, or they really want it back in the holster.
Yeah, that's a good call, Bob. Houston, it looks like Bob's done a great job stopping the flow. We can put it back in the holster or let him tend it. Doesn't look like, Bob, you can please let me know if this is true or not, but from our WVS shots, it looked like the flow had stopped.
Yeah, it looks like it's stopped. It looks like it's probably close to your 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're coming up on 7 now, so
Okay,
as long as
7
we
minutes.
start flowing. You're good to flow, Mike.
Okay, Rick, I'm ready. I'm going to sample 1.
That's to the OML.
To the OML, again, the appearance has a lot of popped bubbles, and the surface is getting smoother and shinier as it sets up. Here we go.
Copy.
Trigger, caps up, blow.
And Rick, this material does permeate the bag. See it kind of leaking through here, it looks like.
Yeah, I can see that too, Bob. I guess if you can, try not to put your thumb over the permeated areas, and if you think it's smart, we can just change out a trash bag right now and get you a clean one if it's going to keep doing that.
Release.
Copy release, Mike. Next is 2 alpha, that's to the OML, less than 1 inch, all okay.
And as I pull the tip out, the stuff really likes to stick to it.
Yeah, we can see it adhere.
Looks like it's really attaching to the nozzle well.
Okay, here we go on 2 alpha.
Copy, OML.
Trigger, caps up, flow. Release. Caps down.
2 Bravo, OML.
Thanks,
Trevor,
Rick.
Houston,
You're doing
EVA.
great.
No, you're doing great. Go ahead, Houston.
Trigger, flow.
Recommend new wipe.
Copy, we hear that.
Release.
Yeah, Steve, I've got a new wipe staged here, and I'm going to just get the good wipe of this nozzle when it comes across and sacrifice this wipe for the trash bag if you guys are okay with that.
Bravo's OML.
Roger that.
Okay, here comes 2 Charlie, Rick.
Charlie's OML.
Trigger, caps up, flow. Release.
Delta's OML.
That was a good air off there, Mike.
You may not need anything in Delta, Mike. What do you think?
I'm just going to put another dollop in the middle here, Rick.
Copy. You're going to go to the OML.
Trigger, flow, release.
Copy, and a little pooching in the center there is okay.
Okay, going to 3.
Copy, 3's a 1/4 inch under.
Okay, going for the second layer to the second shelf. Trigger, flow, caps up. Release.
Copy.
Going to safe.
Copy, safe, Mike.
Thanks, Bob.
And we can see that it's still expanding for Bob. And Mike, you're good to start tamping if you want to talk about any characterizations here beforehand or what happened with the second.
Okay, Rick, same bubbling action at the surface, and going to start using the gel brush in 1 here. Gel brush works well, tamps it down pretty nicely. See a little bit of void, you know, as I made the turn on between rows here. But as I tamp, I'm able to kind of compress that material together, sort of close up the gaps between at the bends.
Copy, Mike. You think you're gonna? It looks for sure like 1 is gonna take another layer.
Yes.
I can't see what in terms of your perception of alpha through delta on 2. How do they look?
They look like we might be done. Let me use the gel brush on 3 a little bit here while I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's some voids around the edges of each of the samples, Mike.
3 is tamp all layers, Mike.
Yeah, Bob, as I tamp that, the material will fill in, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's a good observation.
And watch your fingers with that 2 delta sticking up like that.
Copy that, thanks.
And Bob, did I copy Houston in terms of the trash bag? I think you worked that plan out. Are you swapping? You got one?
I'm gonna swap here when I give Mike the gun back, and I've already got a wipe staged on my mini workstation.
Nice work.
Okay,
Way
go
ahead.
to gun, Bob.
Go to safe.
Guns in safe.
Throw it, and you're good to start tamping now. Looks like you got 1 and 3, so you can go to 2, and that's going to be for alpha tamp all layers.
Hey, Rick, working on 2.
Denver, Houston, EVA. When you get a chance, could you have Mike just report on the condition of the tamping tool on the foam surface?
I am starting to see a little pink on the just on the edges of the tamping tool. So maybe we need to change the gel tip.
Yeah, I'll get you another
Foam tip.
Okay, Houston, would you like them to proceed with these samples to finish this layer? Because we're coming up on a time clock here, and it looks like the brush is still satisfactory enough to finish, or we can change.
Is it tacky at all, Mike?
It doesn't feel tacky to me.
Are you visually seeing it?
I do not see it visually adhering to the brush.
Denver, Houston,
Alpha tamp all layers.
we agree that you should proceed.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that.
Okay, Rick, I've got the 1 wipe now in the large trash bag.
Good work, Bob. Looks like your gloves are still nice and clean.
Okay, Rick, and 2 Bravo, I'm just going to knock down the peaks, I think.
That's a copy. Bravo's knockdown peaks, no tamping. And can you say about how you're using the brush? Is there a technique you like in terms of pointing down on the tip or just flat? It looks like you're pancaking it flat.
Yeah, it's kind of both. Using the tip straight on and using it, and 2 Charlie is no tip, right? Just knock down peaks now, or
2 Charlie for the second layer is knockdown peaks, no tamping. All layers after 1.
okay, 2 Charlie. 2 Charlie is complete. I'm tamping 2 Delta now.
Delta is all layer tamp.
And it looks like maybe for 2 alpha, you could maybe push it a little bit more towards the edges.
Thanks, Bob. Good eyes. How's our time, Rick?
We're coming up on a few more minutes before we should start flow again. But you're doing well, so keep going. We have time. It looks like you're only going to need it in 1 and 3.
I would agree.
It looks like 2 Delta needs some more to get to the OML as well.
Yeah, I could put another dollop in 2 Delta, Rick.
Your call. We don't have that good a shot here, so we're relying on your eyes, both sets of eyes out there.
2 Alpha looks like it's maybe right now about 1/8 of an inch under. I don't know. It's going to continue to expand a little bit here, though. I don't know if you want me to try putting any more there.
Yeah, it looks to me like maybe another dollop would be good for 2 alpha. It's a fair amount of underfill right now. Certainly
Yeah, you're
not
going to the OML, so if you think it's not going to expand out, we've got the time to put a little bit more in, and we're coming up probably at a time where we should think about flowing again here in a minute or so. A couple minutes, I should say.
What's the time, Rick?
We got a little more than 2 minutes left before no flow.
And while you're flowing, Mike, I'll grab that other brush handle.
Okay, Bob, I don't know if you can reach this and you want to try to tamp a little bit. I'll pull out the gel stamp real quick and do a little more in 1 and 3. You can get a feel on that one.
Coming up on 2 hours, 45 minutes into today's spacewalk, tests of this TRAD device, this applicator for repair material for shuttle thermal protection tiles going smoothly. Spacewalkers just about half an hour ahead on their timeline as they continue through this activity.
Thanks, Steve.
Today's spacewalk began at 5:04 p.m. Central Time, about 24 minutes early, 24 minutes ahead of the scheduled start time.
Yeah, I can start to
And that 30-minute ahead figure relates to the time gained since the start of the spacewalk.
That's a good call. Why don't you change out the gel brushes if you can now, if possible, Mike, and start flowing.
I'm ready, Rick. I'm going to flow.
Copy flow on the gun.
We need material in 1, a dollop in 2A, 2 Bravo. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's just.
Okay, let's start flowing now.
Okay, I'm flowing in 1. Trigger, caps up, flow.
Flow.
Still good flow rate. Doesn't seem to have subsided at all.
Yeah, it looks real good. It doesn't seem to be affected. It looks like we could go 20 minutes.
Lots of expansion as the material lays down. A lot of bread loafing. Release.
Okay. You going 2 alpha dollop?
Yes.
Okay, 2 alpha. It's going to be to the OML.
Okay, trigger, flow. Caps up. Release.
I don't think Bravo or Charlie need anything, do they, or Delta?
Delta needs a little. 2 Bravo and 2 Charlie. The problem with those a little bit is that the material is not adhering to the sides as well because of the no tamping.
Right. We can almost see that even from here that it looks the same without the tamping.
The material is up to the OML and those trigger on 2 Delta flow. Release.
Okay, Mike, 3 is a 1/4 inch under, and you've already covered the top shelf, so it's a 1/4 inch under the OML.
Okay, Rick, I'm just going to put a couple of rows here in 3. And I'd bias them towards your left side, Mike. It looks like a little bit, yeah. Good copy, Bob. Trigger on 3, flow.
You guys are a good goo team.
Release. Okay, Rick, going to safe.
Safe in the gun.
Let me ask you this. Thanks, Bob.
New brush. Nice work, Bob.
Okay. And Rick, I didn't copy about what Houston said about me just tending this nozzle.
Houston, Bob has got a new new wipeout. Would you like him just to keep tending the nozzle rather than putting it in the holster? It seems like a prudent thing to do.
Yeah, it's affirmative. If it ever does stop flowing, that's the time to put it in the holster.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, gel brush or the stamp, I'm sorry, on 1. Same effect, I'm tamping it down. It's bread loafing quite a bit. I can see as you tamp it, it's kind of water bedding. It is water bedding a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely looks closer to the OML now, too.
Seems like you might be tamping a little bit, yeah, a little bit hard there. It looks like you push it down a 1/4 inch or so and it comes back right back up, so.
So we may not want another layer anymore in 1.
I think I agree with that, Rick.
It looks like, even from your shot on WVS, Mike, that I can see it expanding in 1.
It is expanding. It's coming above the OML now.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it looks like. You might want to try and, after you get on 3, get back there and tamp it back down a bit more. At least the edges.
Copy.
And we have less than 1 inch overfill is okay, so. Guys are stars.
Mike, you're doing great. The only suggestion I got is trying to tamp more towards the edges as you tamp. Try to get it to adhere because it just doesn't, maybe it just won't adhere to that admittance wash.
Mike Foreman continuing to make good progress as we see in this live downlink, these tests of material and a so-called T-rad, an applicator for ablative material. These designed to develop techniques and test equipment for repair of thermal protection tiles of the space shuttle.
We cover the top shelf though. Good work.
Okay, I'm going to pull out the foam tip.
Copy, Mike. You're on the foam tip. Going to the 2s.
Tamping 2 alpha.
2 alphas, tamp all layers.
Got my bat volt decay.
Copy, bat volt decay. EV2.
Okay, no tamping. 2 Bravo, 2 Charlie, going to 2 Delta. Got a nice amount of material in 2 Delta now. I think we're done with 2 Delta.
2 Deltas, tamp all layers.
I think we're done with all of these after we tamp here, Rick.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any room left for any more. And again, you can work on one a bit more if you'd like to get it down. Less than 1 inch overfill is okay though on all the OMLs, so we're looking good.
Thanks, Rick.
2 alpha does still look a little bit underfilled.
Yeah, it's good to have your side view there, Bob. I think we could maybe hit that with another dollop here and
Small dollop, maybe on the way to taking care of the next set.
yeah, we'll just go straight from 2 alpha, Rick, to 4, 5, and 6 probably here in the next shot.
I like that idea, and we definitely have got a good flow rate going, so I don't believe, Houston, we need to do any more purges before we move on to 4 through 6. Houston concurs. Good call. Thanks, Steve. So, Mike, you have a go to move on to 4 Alpha, Bravo, 5, and 6, and as you start, if you want to put one more dollop on the 2 there, that's a good idea.
Copy, Rick.
And we got a few more minutes here before our 10-minute clock, although I don't know how real that clock is, considering the flow rate is up.
And Mike, also, it looks like on the left edge and the top edge on sample 1, this looks a little underfilled there as well. See the admittance wash? See that?
Yeah, I do, Bob. Thanks.
Houston, EVA with a little change. Go ahead. We decided we would like a small purge, 15 seconds, just to get fresh new material in the nozzle when you start the next sample. Okay, copy. You need a purge. Would you like him to do the 2 dollop first, or and then proceed on with the purge and go through 4 to 6? Purge, 2 dollop, then 4 through 6. That order, please.
Copy, Steve.
Copy.
How's the clock, Rick?
Okay, we're coming up on when we should flow anyway, but it looks like we're in a purge now. So we're going to do a purge. If you guys are happy with those samples, let's set up for that.
Okay, Rick, pretty happy.
Okay, we're going to report the temperature on the gun gauge where it is in the green and red.
You want to lean back, Mike? Yeah, get your purge guy out. There you go.
And Houston, you want to give us the time for the purge?
I think it was
15 seconds.
Okay, I did not copy that. Thank you. 15 seconds.
But still right at 65 degrees, Rick.
65 degrees. Thanks, Mike.
And I am in flow, ready for your clock, Rick. I'll call 3, 2, 1, trigger, and you can find me.
Copy, Mike. We're ready.
Okay, Rick. 3, 2, 1, trigger, caps up, flow. Flow rate still looks pretty good. Material not quite as ragged edges now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, release.
Release. I was saying the edges of the material don't look quite as ragged, and the inside of the CDC glass just fogged up a little bit there.
Yeah, can you hold that back up again like you did before? Okay, cant it just a bit away from you, the whole CDC. Yeah, we can see it better now. It looks like it's come up on the glass and kind of... Okay, great, Mike. Good job.
That purge designed to get fresh material into the nozzle of the gun for use on these last 4 samples.
Gun safe.
And watch the other pin. It's open back up.
Oh, thanks, Bob.
And watch you got some on your...
Yeah, see that?
Okay, I've got the gun.
Got the gun here.
Okay, you got some RTV on you, Mike, or on the scraper bin, or...
Just a stuck on my left glove finger, index finger.
Is it on the RTV itself, or is it on the fabric?
Watch this has got stuff in it, so...
Yeah, it's on the RGB, Rick. I just wiped it off. It's gone.
Okay, good. All right, Mike, with that, we've got the purge complete. It looks like satisfactory. We should be go on to 4 Alpha, Bravo, 5 and 6 with 1 dollop on 2 first.
Okay, that'll be 1 dollop on 2 Alpha. And I'm going to actually do a dollop in 1, Rick, real quick here.
1 needs it?
1 needs just a little bit. It's got in the upper left quadrant, I'd say it's got maybe 1/8 of an inch underfill.
Okay, Unison, we're going to go and do 1 dollop. Do you concur on 1?
I can see a mitten flush visible on the left side and on the top in 1. The entire length of the left side.
Houston concurs.
Okay. I'm going to hit this left side.
Copy,
Put a line here, Rick. Ready, trigger, flow, release.
Release.
Yeah, the material definitely looks different now.
Okay, I'm going to hit a dollop in 2 Alpha.
2 Alpha.
Trigger, caps up, flow, release. Okay, going straight to 4 Alpha for a small dollop here.
Okay, Mike, it's going to be 1 layer to all the remaining repairs, and 4 Alpha's cover bottom shelf.
Okay, on 4 Alpha, trigger, caps up, flow, release.
And Bob, you should probably have those pictures ready on your cuff checklist. I think you already do.
I do. Thank you, Rick. So any twirling you can do to keep that one from coming unanchored, Mike, I see you working it.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
was, did you get 4 Bravo, Mike?
I got 4 Alpha so far.
Okay, 4 Bravo is right at top shelf, don't exceed top shelf.
Okay, going on 4 Bravo first. Trigger, blow. Release. Sorry, that was a slow release call.
That's okay. By the way, Mike, just all these will be tamp all layers, too.
Okay, Rick, thanks. The problem with this material is just small, you don't have the room to kind of shear it off as well as the bigger samples.
We can see it adhering. It won't come off the nozzle for you, yeah.
So, going to 5.
5 is going to be a 1/4 inch under, ramp towards 4 Alpha to the RCG. Do not exceed the RCG.
Copy that. Trigger, blow, release.
Yeah, that's ornery stuff there, Mike. It won't come off.
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's go into 6.
That's a 1/4 inch under. Do not exceed 0.1 inch under.
Copy that. Trigger, blow, release. That's a tricky one. Going to safe. Okay, I've got the gun.
Happy, safe, on gun.
Just a couple of minutes over 3 hours into today's spacewalk, thing going very smoothly with these tests of the TRAD and the material that applies to these tile samples and cavities. Lead spacewalk officer Zeb Scoville reporting that the spacewalkers are just about 50 minutes ahead, 50 minutes ahead of their timeline.
It really looks like it's staying tamped down now, huh?
Yeah.
Damping it, and now we'll see how fast it foams back up. It's definitely expanding slower than it was before.
Using a stamp on 2 Alpha. Material is kind of above this OML, so the stamp is working pretty well. In the tile.
It's biased the tamping towards the top left side. There's a void there.
Yeah. That's a good call, guys. I think this brings up a really good point for Houston, is that the parallax involved here in repair may be such that you need 2 sets of eyes out there positioned at angles just so you can see this, because Bob's able to see some things that Mike can and vice versa.
The 3 looks pretty good.
Happy, Rick?
Going for the foam tip, Rick.
Copy, Mike.
How's the orange on the angled stamp there?
Very light at the edges. I can start using the other one if I need to, but I might be done with the stamp here unless one needs more.
I'd start your tamping on the other samples, 4 Alpha and 2-6, Mike, to get a chance with the small brush.
Okay, Rick. Let me know, Bob, if you want me to start that gun if it slows down ever.
Okay, it's still flowing a little bit.
I think we'll just firmly plan on Bob holding that gun for you, and you can concentrate on that.
But I think the material has changed character to the point now where it looks like when you tamp, Mike, it does not puff back up. It stays down when you tamp it down. Do you agree with that? It looks like sample 1 is stayed down.
Yeah, it hasn't. I was up 2 Alpha, look at 2 Alpha. It has popped back up quite a bit. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's still, I think it's still popping up less than it was before.
I would agree with that. It's definitely not expanding as much. Okay, Rick, tamping on 4 Alpha.
All layers.
I think that's only going to need 1 layer.
Looks like That's true, Mike. You're going to just cover that bottom shelf via the pictures you guys have I'm looking at. And you tamp that layer. And when you go to Bravo, it's right at the top shelf. So you kind of come...
And Mike, your glove heater switch is starting to impact the repair.
Okay, that's a good call, Bob. That's something to think about, Rick, too, is these glove heater tabs.
Yeah, isn't it off now, Mike?
It's in off.
Maybe you can pull it to on and get some of that off tag out of your way and stand the heat for a bit.
Okay, it's on.
How's our
Nice.
spots for next flow, Rick?
We're coming up on another, three minutes or so, Bob. A little bit more.
Houston, EVA for EV2. Mike, don't let your hands get too warm. We don't want to heat those gloves up.
Thanks, Steve. I'm going to turn that thing off. I'm already feeling it.
Copy, Mike. Sorry about that.
That's a good call, Rick.
Okay, I see you on Bravo, Mike, and that's at the top shelf. You're not going to exceed the top shelf. You might want another dollop in there. I'm not sure.
I would agree with that, Rick.
5 is a quarter inch under, and that's the ramp again towards 4 alpha, the top in terms of how you're facing it to the RCG. So you may need some there, and you're calling 6 also. 6 is probably okay.
Yeah, 6 will need some more.
Will it? Okay.
Hey, good job on that, Mike. Definitely the material seems like it's changed character. It's bubbling a lot less.
Yeah, that's true, Rick. I don't know if you can tell that from your view.
Actually, it does. It looks more of a kind of a rubbery consistency on the sheen from the surface now compared to what it was before.
Seems more responsive to your tamping.
Yeah, I can see the bubbles under the surface, those little nodule-type bubbles are still forming in the material, but it's not kind of red loafing as much as it was.
Good description.
How's the time, Rick?
I think we got to be pretty close to starting to flow again, huh?
Copy.
Okay, I'm still in the tip. Home tip. Thanks, Bob. There you go. Okay, Rick, a little bit of a dollop in 4 Bravo. Going to flow here.
Copy.
4 Alpha is good. Flowing on 4 Bravo.
Okay, 4 Bravo.
Triggers capped up. Flow. Release.
Don't exceed top shelf.
Under that. Now that I'm higher up out of the sample, out of the divot, I got a little more room to shear the material off. So I'll be able to get it separated easier than deep down in there on the first layers.
Good call, Mike.
Okay, going on 5.
5 is a quarter inch under, and you ramp it up 4 alpha to the RCG. Do not exceed the RCG.
Roger. Trigger. Flow. Release.
And when you get through 6, Mike, I think about 1 again.
Yeah, Bob, you're right. 1 is kind of settled back.
Okay, slumping?
Yeah, it looks like it's slumping.
Okay, Rick, going on 6.
Sundown, guys.
Copy that, Rick. Thanks.
Roger. 6 is quarter inch under.
Roger. Flow, release.
And I'm sure you're able to gauge 0.1 inches.
I'll try.
Do not exceed it.
Okay, going on 1. Trigger caps up, flow.
okay for a little overfill on one as well, right?
Yeah, Bob, all of them through 1, 2, 3 are all 1 inch overfill, okay, less than 1 inch, okay.
Thanks, Bob. Started to tamp, Rick.
Copy, Mike.
There definitely was visible slumping in one.
Yeah, I could almost see it from here, actually, through the WVS. It looked like it's slumping down in the center.
Yeah, and on the sides you can see where it was, the meniscus is starting to be above the center portion instead of below it as it was earlier. But it seems like it might be more responsive to tamping now. Mike?
I would agree with that, Bob. That's a good call. It's still bread loafing, but seems like when I hit it with the tamping, it doesn't bounce back quite as quickly or as much.
And for Houston, we're pretty happy with how things are going. These guys are doing a great job, and the material is reacting in a very, I guess, tame way.
Ever Houston for EVA, we are absolutely captivated by what you guys are doing here, like brain surgeons up there, and when we have KU, it really got some great views.
You hear that, Mike? You're a brain surgeon.
Yeah, never been called that before.
Probably never will be again.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. You'll never be called a brain surgeon again, Mike.
That's for sure.
Okay, so I can see the extrusion on one still is out there, Mike, and no, you don't have to go to it. I was just looking at it, but it looks like it tamps down pretty nicely, and it's brought the slump back up.
Right.
Congratulatory words radioed up to the station and the spacewalkers by Steve Robinson, the Capcom in the International Space Station Flight Control Room. As we're coming up on 3 hours and 15 minutes into today's spacewalk, this test of materials and applicators for these samples of space shuttle tiles going very well and very quickly.
So, 4 Alpha's done, 6 is done, 4 Bravo's done, and 5, I'm just working the material kind of towards that edge. I think there's enough material there. Just continuing to kind of ramp it.
I'd give 2 Alpha a little bit more tapping as well.
Thanks, Bob.
And based on my pictures, these samples almost look just like the pictures, Mike. They look great. Like you said, except 4 Alpha and Bravo look good, and Bob has a better vantage point than me, and you do too. Sample 5 looks like we could ramp it a little bit more. I don't know if you need to put a little bit more in there, though.
Yeah, Rick, I'm continuing to nurse that one a little bit towards that edge. That's probably the only place where I would think about a quick one-shot dial up here just to give me a little more material to work towards that one edge.
And what do you think about 1? Is that one good? Yeah, it looks like it's doing pretty good. I get the big angled stamp out.
Yeah, 1 is doing good. I will take advantage of that stamp here. Hit 6.
6 looks good.
6, it looks like it's got enough material in it. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, 6 is good. like spinning plates. Trying to keep them all up there.
Mike, you're a regular Rembrandt.
Yeah.
I think he was a brain surgeon.
Sure, not every work was a masterpiece.
This is, and it looks like you're getting 5 up to the ramp a lot better now, too.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a masterpiece.
How's your brush tip looking, Mike?
Say that again, Bob?
Your brush tip, is it,
It's getting a little pinkish. Want to swap?
want to go with that one for a little bit and I'll start getting you one out?
Good, because I need to stamp here for a minute.
Okay.
Caddies work pretty well, Rick.
That's good to hear. How about, we had that problem where the foam brush would just bend over all the time and not give you here now, too?
No, here the foam brush is a little stiffer and works pretty well.
Good. So what do you think about 5? Are we another dollop in it, Mike, or we got to nurse it?
I think one small dollop, Rick. Am I at the time now?
No, we still got some time. I just was, I think everything else looks pretty good at this point, except 5. Do you agree with that, Bob, too, or?
Yeah, I think so. I'd give 2 alpha a good tamp with that angled stamp and maybe 2 delta one more time. That looks pretty good. And 2 delta looks like it does have a little bit of underfill on the left side. But it would be such a small amount of material, it's going to be hard to fill it up. But I've got a new brush when you're ready, Mike.
Okay, Bob, let me start these angle stamps here.
Just looking at the strong box now from the first samples, it looks like they're nice. They've expanded just maybe a bit, but hardly over the OML. They look pretty clean.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. That's a good call, too.
Mike Foreman putting finishing touches on this demonstration, applying caulking material, actually patching material to shuttle tile-like devices.
Can you work with that one on that tether for a little while?
Sure can.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like 3 is stabilized pretty good there.
I would agree.
And Endeavor Eastern for EVA.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Rick, ground is really happy with all the samples except for for 5A. We think we probably want to get another dollop in that to help with the ramping, and we'd like to go ahead and get that now to avoid having to do a purge because we're approaching the end of our 10-minute clock.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's a work.
And Bob, just for information's sake here, how is that gun still flowing at all? Or is it pretty much stopped?
It's stopped now.
Okay, Rick, I'm going to flow for 5.
Flow.
Here we go. Trigger, caps up. Flow. Release.
Release. And Houston, we got still good flow, and we were right at the edge there, so consider maybe that 10-minute clock, based on what we're seeing here, is probably a little...
I need just a second.
Take your time, Bob.
Stick your gel brush caddy in here, or the handle here. Take care of that for you. Give you this handle back. But there you go.
Yeah, characteristic tip flow again. And Mike, I think once you get tamped on 5 and ramp it up, we're good to go on the samples.
I agree, Rick.
Okay, and I'm ready for I'll take the gun from you, Mike.
Okay, watch the tip.
Okay, go ahead.
Thanks, Bob.
And I would tamp down 1 before we leave it here, too, so.
The application of repair material to these samples pretty well wrapped up. Just a little bit of tamping remains to be done.
Geometry.
Mike Foreman working on that now. These samples he's working on in the left quadrant are actual shuttle tile samples that were damaged during ground testing.
Yeah, it was getting pretty hot.
There are 4 of these samples, the 3 in a row, including the middle one that he's working on, and 1 down toward the bottom of this screen.
Looking nice, Mike.
Thanks, Rick.
I don't know in reality if you're going to really be able to get right up to the RCG, because the consistency of that stuff isn't going to allow you to paint it up in there.
Good work, Mike. Great job. Thanks, Bob.
And Houston, these guys have done a fantastic job. I think if you see 5 looking, about as good as I think we're going to be able to get it, we could call this done and get the strong box closed up.
Let me take a look around.
Endeavor, Houston, for EVA, we agree with all, and you're going to proceed.
Excellent work, Houston.
Okay, Rick, just taking a look around, scan around here. A couple more tamps in a couple of spots.
When I get rid of this white, Mike,
Okay, Bob.
we'll get a fresh one out to give us some of the once-over end.
Controllers in the International Space Station Flight Control Room expressing satisfaction. What they're seeing on their television screens is final working of these samples by Mike Foreman, tamping down the material that he's applied to these samples is just about to be wrapped up.
Continues to sort of rise just a little bit.
I think we're going to get some expansion, and I don't think you should worry about it, Mike. You've done a fantastic job, you and Bob. I think as long as it's, no greater than an inch over or a little bit under, that we can close the box, we should be fine.
Okay, copy that. Whenever you're ready, Bob.
Okay, give that number 1 a good tamp. It looks like that one's kind of loafing up a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
They'll be ready to close the box. And what's after closing the box, Rick?
Okay, well, we're not up quite there yet. We're going to take some nozzle temperatures.
Okay.
And and then we'll close the box up after we do a few other things.
Okay, Bob, here's this gel tip.
Okay.
Hey, Mike, you going to sign your name?
I didn't see a good spot. Steve, thanks.
I heard him Houston say, sign your name on the samples, Mike.
How about a thumbprint?
I gotta see my face in one. How about that?
Okay, put the nozzle back in your holder there, Mike.
Good work, Bob. You probably could have flowed the goo from over there.
No, I don't think so. Not as well as you did.
No, you're the man.
And Mike, if you got the holster in right now, in the holster, can you like bend your knees and come down? Just give us a little close to WVS shot of the whole sample box, and we're going to zoom in here. That's good. Keep coming if you can. Bend a little bit more. Can you scan down just a little to the 4 and 6s? Come a little bit lower to the right. We lost you now. It's over too far to the left. Keep coming right. Keep coming right. Okay, keep coming and now down just a bit. Looks good. Now scan over to your right. And down just a bit. Looks good, Mike. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Okay, Mike, I've got the temperature sensor here.
Okay, we're going to take a nozzle temperature.
Ground expressing satisfaction with those zoom-in pictures from Mike Foreman's helmet cam. The completed sample works.
There, Houston for EVA. That was a great WVS scan. Thank you, gentlemen.
That was Dom's idea. We got it. He zoomed in the cameras, and with Mike's help, it all worked out. So 12.2 in the temperature. Good job, guys. You're good to close the temperature sensor display cover and probe tip, Bob.
Okay.
Throw that in the bag.
Okay.
And Mike, we'd like a report of the gun gauge temperature where it is in the green.
Hey, coming right up. About 62 now, Rick.
Down a whole 3 degrees, 62.
Good copy.
Thanks, Mike. Once Bob's got that temperature sensor stowed, he's going to pass you the digital camera, and you're going to be performing the photogrammetry.
Hey, it's dark, so we're going to have to wait on that.
Roger. I think you could pass him probably the camera.
Okay. But if we could leave it tethered to the bag, Mike.
That'd be great.
As long as it won't drag over the sample box, that'd be fine. It shouldn't, right?
I think it should be fine.
Okay, it's got 2 tethers on it. You got it?
Got it.
Okay. Okay, that's complete.
Good work. Yeah, we're just waiting here now for a day pass, and Mike, I can read through the procedures here. We can talk about it a bit if you like.
Okay, Rick.
And we've got about 10 minutes or so till sunrise.
Houston EVA, we recommend TRAD depressurization and then take the photos.
the TRAD depress.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, guys. Mike, you're going to close the strongbox. Well, you're not going to close the strongbox lid because we're going to take pictures, but we can translate over the TRAD now, Bob.
Okay, headed that way, Rick.
Thanks.
Houston for EVA. Actually, we'd recommend closing the strongbox just to keep it safe during the cleanup procedures. The photogrammetry procedure will have you open again. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, it's closed. Thanks.